You can sleep here?
I mean, there's other places close to here that you can sleep.
We should actually have a bed or some kind of accommodations, because
This is a really nice office. People don't
it's.
understand. It's like you got internet, TV, electricity, snacks. Like, yo,
Do we have as part of the list that you can actually sleep here?
I don't know. It's nice.
All right,
It's
guys.
great.
What's going on, Ron? What's going on, guys? We're waiting for a few other folks, and then we'll start going. Oh, actually, we have a lot of people in there. Let's get started. Let's get the party started. All right. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday Investor Town Hall. We do this every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, to share our progress with our Regulation A, which we're going to be talking shortly about. Also talk about Fanbase, the product, and also hear from you. If you are a new user, or if you're an OG user, a new investor, or you're interested in investing in Fanbase, you're at the right place at the right time. This is a place where we can answer any questions you might have. So really, this is a space to get to talk to you. There's not many or any platform out there that has their CEO and CTO every week opening conversations with their user base. We're all about our creators and our users.
Yes.
So, we love being here, and we hope to continue doing so.
Absolutely.
With that said, Isaac, it feels good that I have you right next to me, because usually I say this on my phone, because you're not.
Oh.
Now let's talk about our reggae race that we're doing. Let's do a brief intro to everyone, and then we'll go into the other topics.
We've actually been doing really good on our reggae. So we are raising capital, $17 million to be exact, in a Regulation A crowdfund for Fanbase on a platform called Start Engine. The importance of why we're doing this is because we want to scale the app faster and better to deliver the things that you want. For that reason, we've been doing very, very well raising capital, but we want to raise faster. We want to raise more. We want to build faster, build better. We get requests for functionality and features and stuff that we're doing all the time. And so the urgency in us in closing this raise as fast as we can is important. So for the minimum of $399, you can invest in Fanbase right now, Start Engine. You can go to startengine.com/Fanbase to invest. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $6.55 a share. And you actually sit on the cap table of a social media platform. And why I think this is important is because the conversations about people investing are few and far between. We'll hear conversations about gambling, we'll hear conversations about playing the lottery, but we don't really hear people saying, look, let's take some of that capital and invest in platforms, in social media platforms that we can own and scale, and that's important. So I'm asking everybody to go and invest right now on Start Engine, startengine.com/Fanbase. Now, the last time I checked, we were at about 4.6 million. I don't know if you can look right now.
Correct. We are right now at 4.637.
Yeah. Your first, no, that's probably more than that. Hit it.
Really? Already? I just did it. So I think it's like that. 4.637.
See?
Or 38.
I told you.
It's moving by the second.
Moving by the second. Every time you do it, it's a new investment. But
yeah. If you guys see us looking at our phone, it's because we're doing the watch party. We're looking at some of our information as well.
Correct.
But Isaac, I want to jump right into a hot topic. Because you're asking people to invest and believe in Fanbase. And today there was an interesting video going out around from the founder of Meta.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to talk to everyone about why it's even more important to own a piece of Fanbase with everything that is going on.
Well, it's two things I think are important. One, this message, the timing of it is very, very suspicious, right? We have a new administration coming in, and all of a sudden they want to get rid of fact checking. That sounds weird to me. And have community moderation as opposed to fact checking, which in a company like theirs is well in position to have AI really moderate what is and is not the truth. It also makes me think that they're trying to appeal to the audience that is on TikTok, just in case TikTok is struck down on the 10th. Because that court case is, what's today's date? Today's like the 6th.
Today is the 7th.
All right, so the 10th is the court case. That's Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Friday or whatever. So the conversation, the decision to ban TikTok might happen on the 10th. And so I feel like they might be making it very, very like easy to say, hey, look, we know that we value freedom of speech like we have on TikTok and XYZ, and so we're going to take it down, because the conversation on TikTok is not about freedom of speech. It's about the ownership of that platform by the Party of China, Communist Party of China. So that's one. Two, it confirms that these platforms consistently control what you see and what you don't see based on what they decide. And that's really not true freedom. That's not the opportunity for information to pass through, flow through, really have your voice be heard. In fact, I heard that under the new policy under Meta, and this is just something that struck me today, I think I saw in the Wall Street Journal, that now you're able to label someone that is gay as mentally ill with Facebook's new policy.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that. They said you can say somebody that's gay is now can be labeled a mentally ill person. And I thought that was bizarre. So what I've been saying for a while is that I think that these platforms are reaching a level where they are so massive and so big that underneath them, there needs to be another generation of apps that are user-owned, scale in a different way, not based off of advertising, that they're going to decide how, what is allowed to be seen based on how much money they can make off of it. And then the opportunity for the users of these new platforms to get a shot at equity of them, because we're talking about oligarchs. I was surprised that Mark Zuckerberg compared his platform to X. That was weird. I'm surprised that he put Dana White on his board, which is really weird. I'm surprised that he was so, vocal about meeting with Trump, which, I mean, they can do that, but they didn't have that same energy 4 years ago, which is very weird.
Yeah.
So
they're definitely trying to shift and adjust.
Yeah, I think they're creating a landscape and an opportunity for them to kind of merge together and take control. And so that's very shaky. And it poses the question, well, where do those of us fit in? Where does everybody else fit in that isn't like them, right? That just wants to be able to say what they want to say, talk about conversations that may or may not be appropriate for an advertiser or a person with an agenda to have that type of conversation. And so Fanbase is one of those platforms. And I think we focused a lot on the monetization aspect of the platform for a while, but just understanding that we are here to allow people to have a voice, communicate, feel free to express themselves, own their content, own their voice, and then subsequently, leverage that and have the ability for people to tip you and subscribe.
Platform too.
Yeah.
So let's go a little deeper on the concept of what Fanbase is all about. One of the things that we are proud of is that we stayed true to ourselves since day one.
Absolutely.
Right. What you're hearing us say today, we've been saying that for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. So we're not shifting just because the world shifts. We truly believe in our mission. So we are creator first.
Yes.
We are all about the user, right? So we are not an ad-centric platform. So when you do well, we do well as well. And so every effort that we do, from building features, how we shape the algorithms, with all the challenges and things that we still need to work on, we're still staying true to ourselves, and we still believe that's the future. The social economy is the future itself, right?
100%.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's important because some of you might just have heard about Fanbase today for the first time. And you might not have seen us before and heard what we were all about. And what Isaac just mentioned, it's what we've been preaching for a very, very long time. And we will stay true to ourselves. We obviously, with this race, we're hoping to improve the way we implement and we do things. I know a lot of people have seen some comments on your comments on this, and people are saying, well, this feature is not like they have it on TikTok or in Meta and so on. And obviously, we still have a long way to go, but we also are a very small and nimble team. That's what we're doing this.
Let's lean into that, though.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So I'm going to use the word market opportunity. So there's an opportunity right now to scale and build fan base faster. Like I said, in this raise, we're raising $17 million. We're at about 4.6, 4.7 million of the 17 million that we need to raise. If we had all 17 million, so the remaining 12 million, in the next 7 days or so, that changes the entire trajectory of this app in ways that are so beneficial and so advantageous to you as a user, you as an investor, that just make us, be able to really build and scale. I think we've done an excellent job at showing that we can build, that there's technology out here that anything that these other platforms can build, we can build. But what's allowed us to exist is we stick to a budget that gives us the ability to scale at a pace that is responsible and allows us to grow. Now, we would love to move faster. And one of the first things that I learned in working with Ramiro on the team is not
share,
what you can build,
some
is how
love.
fast you can build it. So things like somebody asked me about Spark. And I said, yeah, Spark could be built in 6 months, or Spark could be built in 6 weeks, right? So you could have Spark by March, or you could have Spark by July or August. And so the urgency in which we ask people to invest and join the platform and use the platform, it helps just by downloading but also investing, because again, it's only a small group of people that I think will be allowed to invest this platform at the minimum. If everybody invested the minimum, it's still maybe around 33,000 people of a country of 380 million people in the United States of America. Only 33,000 or so.
This is the U.S.
Yeah, just the U.S. And we're worldwide. So there's only 32 or 33,000 people that are going to be able to invest in Fanbase. And then this round closes, and then we're able to scale and build, and I don't have to consistently, be in fundraise mode, which I can just be CEO and really run around and just throw ideas out and have fun. And
what would the world look like?
No, man. I don't even know what it's like. It's just like, we don't have any money to raise. Like, the coffers are full.
We'll get there.
We will. But that's the urgency. That's the thing that we're talking about. Like, why it's important that we raise the capital. It's really the speed in which we can do these things. So if users come here from TikTok and say, man, I want this, we can do those things. It's just we either have to build at the speed in which we're allowed to raise capital, or we can increase that speed by raising this capital faster, because we're going to raise the capital. That's not a question. It's how fast we raise it, and that depends on our ability to get that message out, but then in ways you can help and assist us do that. So be people that speak about this and say, hey man, you guys need to go invest in Fanbase. If they close this round, we can help them build faster. We can give them the things that TikTok has. We can give them Spark. We can give them a lot of these things. We can give them dark mode. We can give carousels. We can give a lot of the things that we talked about. The things that we talked about in Fanbase Forward, we're going to do them. I just want to do them a lot faster. And so that's the urgency of doing what we're doing.
Before jumping into opening up for questions, I want to ask you something. Could you describe to everyone briefly what's the process of investing in Fanbase? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because it also has to do with how we access that capital. Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, you raised 4 million. Are you waiting to get all the money? Have you been getting that money? What are you doing with that money, and so on? But I think it's important for everyone to know what the process looks like.
Yeah, for sure. So when you go to startengine.com to invest in Fanbase, you're going to create a Start Engine account. So that, I always say, that is like the wallet for your shares. So sometimes we often get emails or messages from people saying, I haven't heard anything about Fanbase or my stock. The first thing that I would tell anybody that has those questions is to log into the account that you invested in Fanbase, because that is not connected to Fanbase as an app. Start Engine is the company that facilitates that raise, and for legal reasons, it's separate from the company. So your shares are held in that account. So that's your wallet for your shares. Once you click invest, you will choose either the minimum or something around more, whatever you want to invest. You can invest anywhere from $3.99 all the way up to the entire round if you want to.
As many times as you want to.
As many times as you want to. Once that happens, your money goes into escrow, which means we don't have your money and you don't have your money. In that process, a standard background check is done to make sure that there's not any illegal activity as far as someone trying to launder money through these raises, which has happened before, where people have tried to do that. In any raise that facilitates an equity crowdfunding, people just try to do that. That process takes about 2 days. Once that's over, you will receive something called a confirmation email. This is probably the most critical part about investing in the app, because it's not like you just click invest and then you're invested in the platform. Because of the SEC rules and regulations, they want to give the investor a good amount of time, more than enough time to decide this is what I really want to do. I really want to be a Fanbase investor. What makes that process easier is that we're not asking you guys to invest $50,000. We're saying you can invest $3.99, $4.99, $9.99, and through those investments, it's a risk, but it's limited risk. So once that happens, you will receive a confirmation email. Once you get that email, make sure that you say, I want to invest, right? The moment you do that, your funds are then taken from escrow and put into a disbursement queue, sits on the side. So it's like a piggy bank for us. And when we want to use those funds and put them to work inside of Fanbase, we ask for Start Engine to send us that money. And once it hits our bank account, then you are invested in Fanbase. And so it's a process that probably takes really a few days, unless you're investing large amounts of money, where it can take like, a week or so, but which is fine. But that's the process in which you do it. And so it's a simple process. And again, it gives you an opportunity to sit on the cap table of a social media tech platform. Equity crowdfunding has been a blessing for anybody that has a small business, to be able to raise capital in their early stages. The unique part about what we're doing is that we're a tech company, we're a social media platform. Users give social media platforms their value. So every investor adds to the value of Fanbase, especially those that don't not only invest, but actually use the app and tell others to use the
It's
app.
100
So you yourself have the
and
power to control the value.
it's
Of this company by
113,
being a voice
112,
that
15 people
resonates and says,
in
hey,
the
look,
audio
you need to
room.
download Fanbase, you
Welcome,
need to be an investor in
YouTube.
Fanbase and be part of this community.
Yep. And also, once you become an investor, there's multiple ways that we'll be communicating with you. Obviously, this audio room watch party is a way for you to stay in touch with us. We're doing this every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also sending Start Engine updates. So if you're an investor, you're automatically following our Start Engine page. So every time we send an update, you'll get that.
Yep.
We do email newsletters for our investors as well. We also have different channels of communications open. If you have any questions, you can reach out to support@fanbase.app and say you're an investor, and you can ask questions there. So we're all about transparency, keeping you updated, how we use that money, how things are progressing, and so on. So, we're hoping for those that are investors are enjoying how much more we're communicating with this race, which I think is a good job.
And again, I want to speak to how we're still here. Like over the last few years, I mean, a lot of companies that have raised way more capital than we have come and gone, and they do things that don't really honestly reflect what goes into building a proper community. A lot of it is show. A lot of it is, I'm having a party, we're cool, we're hip, we're going to pay a bunch of money for celebrities and all that kind of stuff. That's not how you build community. Celebrities don't make apps, communities do. And so the goal of Fanbase is to build a community of people that stay on the app, regardless of whether or not somebody is famous there or not. The app is for everyone. So it's not just for celebrities, it's for everyone to participate and be part of the community. So we're not going to lean into throwing, millions of dollars at famous people to come on the app, stay for a couple of days, and then leave. And then we spend the money and we're not around. And so we're responsible with our capital.
Yep.
And I think that gives us the advantage, right, really of longevity and outlasting a lot of these platforms that have raised money from venture capital. No shade to VC, but you guys made those decisions. You cut those checks, and those platforms are come and gone. And here we are, a community-funded startup that's focusing on creators, that's still here and continuing to grow.
Love it. Everyone is a creator, and everyone can make money from day one.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go through the chat. We have some questions, some comments.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to go to YouTube. I see a lot of people in YouTube as well, which is exciting. I'll check your comments right after this. I'm just going to say some comments. Love this app, and I love the connection I'm making. Just mentioning this app is the best thing ever. More connections with other major socials. Love it.
Love it.
Would like to hear that. Someone says, hello, Isaac. I've been promoting Fanbase on all apps. That's a great way of growing Fanbase as well.
Absolutely.
Share away. Definitely. Let's see. Icebreaker question. What's your favorite space in the office?
Oh.
Question. I don't even know that. Thanks for asking that.
What is my favorite space in the office? I like our office.
It's a big office.
It's a big office, but I like our office because it's really
You have to pick one space. Sorry.
In the corner where I sit.
Which corner?
The corner over there by the iPad.
Okay. I see. You like that place.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Yeah. One of the great things about the office, just to give you some insights, is that we have our own Fanbase space. Right now, we are across our Fanbase space where we have our stage and we have a game room and so on for creators.
Yeah.
But we also have a common share space that has a lot of different rooms. And I have to say, snacks too. But I have to say that sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try different.
Oh, yes.
So you see me going from one place to the other one.
Romero will be by the podcast room. The only place I haven't seen you is up front.
No, I haven't.
You really don't go up towards the snacks.
No, it's just too open. I don't know.
I like those. I like
those.
Eating
snacks all day.
You know what it is? Okay, it's not my favorite place, but I like any place with windows.
Yeah.
I can see some sunshine because the last time we didn't get a lot of sunshine. So anytime I get a chance to see the sun.
Yeah. Another icebreaker question for you, Isaac. What's been your most favorite interview recently?
Oh wow. I mean, I would probably say my most favorite interview recently, Beehive TV. Shout out to Beehive because that was really I really got to talk a lot about creators and understanding. And then I just did Don Lemon. Don Lemon and I had a phenomenal conversation last week, talking about a great many things, but really getting a chance to talk about Fanbase because Don Lemon understands. He comes from legacy media and he sees the shift in what's happening and the ability for him to be his own independent source of information. I told him himself, I was like, you doing what you're doing right now is taking eyeballs away from CNN. And I think that's the world that we live in, is that everybody's going to be their own television network. And so to capitalize on that and have the ability to scale and build that and then build your own media empire separate from these institutions is what I'm here for.
Yep. Someone mentioned more AI. We are actually bringing a lot more AI into different places in Fanbase. We already use AI in the background. We do a lot of AI through our algorithm, but we are going to be bringing AI, especially on insights. There's a big opportunity there.
Can I speak on everything?
All
right, listen. Let me ask you. So people say more AI, but here's the thing that I think, again, not my place to say, but I think a lot of these other apps are over-indexing on AI. We don't need AI users. I don't need to be scrolling the feed and see somebody that isn't real that communicates with me so we can run more ads. I think when people started speaking about like how Meta was using AI influencers or AI generated people, it's just to create more content to run advertising through, things to get you watching. So they're creating fake people to populate your feed and give them more real estate to run advertising in. And see, that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, you got to understand that all these decisions are being made, that there's a financial decision behind that. I'm saying that we make financial decisions, but it's not about, it's a collective decision to say, okay, it benefits the user, it benefits the platform. But I don't want to over-index on AI, in ways that I feel like it makes the platform even unnatural. Even photos, like, again, I think we're going to be able to render photos, and that's going to be fun. But I still like the connectivity and the authenticity of seeing a photo taken by you or seeing you swim laps or whatever it is, stuff like that.
I will say an exclusive preview of what we're working on. We're definitely going to be improving and upgrading our moderation system, and as such, we're looking at ways to also identify AI-driven imagery as well.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
To detect authenticity as well, right? Because
down to the platform that you use to create it on.
You heard about Meta using the AI profiles?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I meant. It's like, who wants to have a bunch of fake users?
Well, but they were doing to drive diversity.
Oh, they were making black people.
I know, that's what
they're making black profiles.
Oh, they're trying to drive diversity, so they're creating all these AI.
As if the platform doesn't have enough black people already, but okay.
That's crazy.
Just show the content of the black people that are already there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. Someone say, it's nice to see you guys with all this space on live. Remember the old office. Yeah, remember the old office?
You can build old office.
Old office. Let's see. Someone said our company will be reaching out to be investors in your company. We definitely see the value of these social media platforms. I love that.
Thank you.
We're open to conversations. Let's see. I'm going through some of them. All voices matters. Yes, I'm into that. Someone said Zuckerberg has donated millions of dollars to Donald Trump. Yeah, it's not a coincidence.
But that's what, now look, that's what I'm gonna say again. It's just me. Come the end of the week, if TikTok gets banned, they were cutting some big checks, man. They were throwing some checks out there like, yo.
Yep. Yeah. Someone says, I'm new to the app. Grandmother247, welcome. I've seen a lot of new users lately, even join audio rooms, which has been amazing.
Yes, and
some great contributions too.
And audio. Again, even like this with Watch Party, I think something that people don't kind of understand is the unique, fun, capability of doing something like this. Being able to pin currently a YouTube video live or pre-recorded to the top of the audio room and have commentary, pause that video, fast forward that video, mute that video, have conversation over that video. There's a lot of things to do. I would take that speech by Zuckerberg, make a watch party, play it, and then talk about it on the app, right? I would have that conversation. I would listen to exactly what he says, right? I would make a watch party of the speech that he gave, pin it to the top of his room, and have conversations about that and how you guys feel about that, and invite people to really listen and understand what that means, and people that agree or disagree, people that agree with what Zuckerberg is doing, or people agree with what Meta's doing or don't. That is the point of, I think, what I've always liked about Fanbase. Again, I've always been the person to say, like, everybody has a voice. You're not going to always agree with people. Community guidelines are one thing. They are community guidelines where we're not going to be threatening people's lives, doxing, and all that kind of stuff. But someone with a different opinion that you have, we have to be able to exist in a space where we can agree to disagree and exchange ideas on a level that can be civil, and it can get contentious and heated. But that's how change happens. It doesn't happen when we're isolated on one side of the globe and the other side, and we're in our respective corners and never talk, and then rage at each other from time to time. And so that's how ideas change.
And I'm a witness to that. Since I've known you, we disagree and we agree on a lot of stuff, but you always be like that with everything. You someone thinks differently. You never shut them down.
Oh, no.
You listen to them. You try to prove your point, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone would do. And I definitely see that.
That's why I love Fanbase, because we agree.
I want those carousels. We do as well. They're gonna come. The question is how quickly.
How fast?
Trying to raise this money, but there's a lot of technical or functionality that we wanna bring.
That's why I love
and
Fanbase.
we're trying to get that as quick as possible.
Let me say again, it doesn't, like, I'll give you a prime example. When the ability for this race to go viral is very, very possible. It's very, very achievable. Now, do I wish that the mainstream media that is opposed to what's going on with Meta, these platforms, even the tech platforms like TechCrunch, Fast Company, CNET, Shade Room, all these platforms, WorldStar, took the message of Fanbase and said, hey, look, there's another platform that is on the rise and you guys can invest in. Oh, yes, because it would help us. We would close the raise in hours, right? We've raised, when we went viral the first time, we raised like $3.5 million in like 24 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, I remember we were at $700,000. We hit $1 million. The next day we had like a $2.4 million wait list.
Yeah.
And it continued to grow. So it's like the ability for this race to go viral it exists every second of every day. So the race can go viral. The right people see this, click that link and invest. This race closes, and then we're having a different conversation. We're having a conversation about, how fast we can build these things, and it changes everything. The team changes. We hire more personnel. We get to be a lot more aggressive. Trust me, we want to be aggressive. I mean, we don't want to, we don't want to chill like this. We hungry. Like, we want to make sure that we continue to build the app and really like the ability to challenge these platforms. And I think you guys, I want people to see that. I want people to understand that it is possible to challenge these platforms. It's not impossible. It is not. Like, movements happen like this. Downloads, all these, at one point or another, all these platforms were underdogs, right? They were just starting out and they were challenging the status quo. And so we've got to continue that process and challenge these apps in ways that allow users to have equity and freedom of speech and monetization.
Yeah, yeah. Someone asked, can I invest in increments of funds, not the 399 again, to build my tier status? The answer is yes. I know I haven't spoken about the different tiers, but you can invest as many times as you want. And when it comes to the perks that we control, the labs, the merch, the verified badges, all of that, we can stack them. We can aggregate them for you. So if you invest, $600 today and you invest another $600 next month, you can be part of tier two and you can qualify for all the perks that we control. When it comes to the share, bonus shares, sorry, that's something that Start Engine controls and that's not stackable. Now, if you are an existing investor for any of the past 3 rounds and you invest against this round, you get automatically a 10% bonus share. So have that in mind as you invest or you continue investing in Fanbase as well. So if you invest again and you want to stack your investment, please reach out to support@fanbase.app. They'll ask you just to verify you are an existing confirmed investor, and then they'll take care of you.
So let's run down the ways too, because sometimes, again, people don't understand that the ability to reach out to us is always available and to learn that type of information. First thing is, remember that you have a Start Engine account. You can go there. On the Start Engine website, you can click Investor Support, right? And reach out if you have questions about your investment, like the process, the status, XYZ. When it comes to the updates on Fanbase, on our Start Engine page, we do several updates a week. People say, I haven't heard anything about that. So again, on the Fanbase Start Engine page, you scroll to the bottom, you will see updates from us and be aware of that. On top of that, we do an investor newsletter, and then we do other newsletters, and you're able to receive those communications via email as well. So there's multiple ways you receive information and understand what's going on in Fanbase at all times. It is not we overshare, and which is not a problem. We should, but I don't want people to think that I haven't heard anything or I don't know what's going on with my investment. So your Start Engine page, support the updates on the Start Engine, our Start Engine page on Start Engine, and then the investor newsletter and the other newsletters and communication that we get, and then in-app notifications that we also communicate
as well. Yeah, we have actually an official investor camp.
Right.
That was created by one of our investors. We thought that was powerful, right? Rather than us create it. So I definitely encourage everyone to join that camp as well. Gina, I did see your comment. I took a screenshot. I'll reach out to support because if you did reach out to them, I'm surprised they haven't been able to give you your labs. So if you're a confirmed investor, you should definitely get them. So I'll follow up on that for you. No worries there. Let me see. Oh, I see Silvana on the chat too. What's up, Sil?
What's up, Sil?
She's traveling. She's in Europe. She's in Valencia.
Wow.
I know. She'll be back next week. Let's see what else.
Has she been here yet? She's been here, right?
Yeah, she's seen the new office.
She hasn't really
No, we'll bring her in February, March. We'll see. Let's see. I love it. It's a truly fantastic company. That makes me feel good, guys. We still have a lot to achieve. A lot, believe me. Isaac and I, every morning we get up. There's so much to get done, and as much as we can get done with 24 hours in a given day. So, I always say we're aspirational perfectionists because we know we still have a lot of things to improve, and everything we're getting there. So let's see. Make sure I don't miss any investor questions.
Can we talk about?
We don't talk about
Fanbase for artists.
We can definitely. I want to make sure I'm almost at the bottom, and I want to quickly go there. Well, we can just maybe talk about Fanbase artists, and then I'll go there.
Yeah, you go there. You go there.
Yeah, but let me see. I want to make sure I don't miss anything else because sometimes people get mad at me and says, Rama, you didn't ask my question. You're ignoring it. I'm not ignoring it. There's a lot of messages here, guys. So, everyone's a creator and everyone can make money when they want. Rama.
It's a quotable.
That's a quotable. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of. Someone says, when Spark's coming?
See? That's on you.
That's on you.
It's up to you.
It depends how quickly we can raise the money. Is there plans to have content that goes deeper into how creators can make revenue in Fanbase beyond just getting subscriptions?
So that's a good segue into Fanbase for artists.
Let's talk about it.
You can go up to the screen right here, and Ramir's going to go look at the chat on YouTube and see what questions that are there. And then I'm going to look directly at you guys to talk about Fanbase for Artists. So I spent 25 years in the music industry. And so it's something that I know just as well as the time that I've been building Fanbase. I understand music and the change that happens that's currently happening in the music industry. And two things that are happening. One, the labels are laying off massive amounts of employees, right? And then two, they're consolidating the distribution of that music and then the way that artists get paid through streaming. So this year, I want to definitely focus on everyone, but really also focus on artists. And here's the reason why. Out of all the creators that exist, artists already have kind of like built-in content. You know, they perform, they shoot videos, they have blogs, they have music, they have a fan base. And so to teach them how to be able to monetize and be best effective on Fanbase, we created a playbook called Fanbase for Artists. Now, I'm speaking on this specifically because I want to tell you that the things that are in Fanbase for Artists apply for any user on the platform, right? And when I say that if you do not follow every suggestion that we have in the Fanbase for Artists playbook, it really limits your ability to be able to actively create content, build community, and scale. And so
we just mentioned, and there are simple things that sometimes, I mean, create a profile, make sure it's complete, right? Make sure your profile link, you also put it on a link aggregator like Linktree, ideally, right? It's been proven that Linktree has been given a lot of visibility to creators in Fanbase, right?
Migrate your profile.
Migrate your profile from TikTok or Instagram or both.
Both.
Right?
Create your revenue profile.
You run your profile. Make sure you get paid.
Yeah. Make sure that you get paid. Create a funnel. Like he said, funneling. So funneling is driving people from the existing platforms that you're on to do that. And especially if you're someone that wants to monetize, it's the visibility that you can bring from other places. The advantage that Fanbase has over platforms that specifically focus just on subscriptions for the limited amount of people that consider themselves creators exclusively on platforms like OnlyFans or Patreon is that they're not community-based platforms. No one blows up from OnlyFans. No one blows up on Patreon. Not a single person blows up from OnlyFans or Patreon. You want to know how those people blow up? They post how much money they made, and then that blows up. So when Sophie Rain says she made $42 million in a year, that becomes the story. It's not the app itself. It's the way that she used the app to make money to scale is what blows her up. So that happens by funneling. So funneling is I take my Fanbase URL and I put that in my bio on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Facebook, on X. And so people that see your page click that link and say, oh, well, let me see what you have going on over on this other platform. And you're able to do that. And so funneling is something that's also extremely important.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what else is in that list. I don't know if you have it. Well, obviously.
And I think that's pretty much. Then there were some recommendations. Obviously, participating of audio rooms.
Oh, creating a camp.
Yeah.
Here's why creating a camp is important. Creating a camp because audio camps right now you're able to build community through audio, but eventually those camps will be app-wide for all the media formats that exist. So you will eventually be able to create a camp post, a camp post, a camp story post, a camp live, a camp long form post. And so that means if you want to directly communicate on specific interests to your community on Fanbase, whether it's cooking, anime, or whatever, you can do that. So you can say, okay, this post is for my anime camp on Fanbase. And so I tell everybody, build an audio camp because it's going to expand in time, and then it'll be a way for you to reach people that your community specifically on interest in multiple ways on that.
And even participating in audio rooms allows you to follow other users and build community that way. I guarantee you that even from today's audio room, there's a lot of people connecting to each other and starting to build community. There's one question from the YouTube viewers that I think is relevant to we just share. It's good that we talk. Someone says, when are you guys bringing music?
So again, being part of the an alumni of the music industry, one thing that I know is that these labels and publishers want their coins. They want their money. And so we have to be very, very careful because a lot of these apps, what they say, they don't ask for permission and beg for forgiveness, which is the wrong thing to do. They violate. We've seen plenty of lawsuits of people using music illegally on platforms, and I don't want to ever put us in that position because I understand how much the content ownership matters to the writers and the producers and the artists. And so those things can get pretty expensive and pricey. Some things that we already have in place that you can do is you can openly stream music in live, right? So if you go live, if you're a DJ, you can play to your heart's desire. Your account won't get clipped. Your music won't get shut down. And we've done the proper licenses to allow DJs to stream without fear of getting their accounts banned or their live shut down, right? And that's one way. When you start to get into UGC and then actual library content of music that you do, you have to do those licenses. And those things can get very, very expensive, and then negotiation processes and things that go through.
Oh, and also with that comes also some technical things that we need to do,
100%.
Recording to moderation and so on.
Tagging.
All doable. In fact, we used to have music in Flicks, and then we changed direction. So I guess it all comes down to a question of time and money, but we're definitely going to be bringing music. And in fact, we have a pretty good meeting next week with our music advisor, Bill Campbell.
Shout out to Bill.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
I want to answer two questions with one thing, because the initial question that I shared before was, is there any plans to have content that goes deeper into how creators can make revenue? And I think Brandon was saying, okay, we have labs and subscriptions. What else are you guys planning for revenue? And then someone asked, what are the revenues and growth models, right? So maybe we can talk a little bit about what's today and where we're heading in the future, right? Because today we have subscriptions, we have lab, and you as a creator, you can make money from both of those, right? There's still a huge potential for those. We still believe greatly in those, but we also believe in what we call branded experiences. So we also believe in the power of brands, businesses, even nonprofits, and how they can collaborate and work with creators and both equally monetize, right? So branded experiences is the roadmap that we have, where we're going to be, all the other platforms are doing traditional advertising. They stick a piece of advertising in the feed, they shadow ban you because all they care is about the money that other advertising can bring. For us, that doesn't happen because we are creator first. So we're trying to build branded experiences, which are creative and non-traditional ways of doing advertising, but benefiting the creator, all right? Branded audio room is a perfect example. We've been piloting that in 2024. And in fact, branded audio room is one of the things for a creator for Fanbase for artists can do as well, right?
Yeah. So let me dive into a couple of things. Subscriptions are available for every single person on the platform that wants to use them. So you yourself as a user have the ability to create exclusive content in one of 5 of the 6 formats that we have, which are live, stories, post, Fanbase Plus, and audio rooms, right? So you can have subscribers. All right. Secondly, in any of those content formats that you post, people can use love to unlock one of the pieces of content that you share. So if it's one live, they can unlock it. If it's one story, they can unlock it. If it's one post or one audio room, they can unlock that one room to experience whatever that experience is. The decision should be to subscribe, because the price of unlocking 4 pieces of content is the price of a subscription. So that means you don't ever have to worry about just consistently unlocking content and doing that. And people do unlock content and they monetize. Now, when we get to love is not just a word that you say and it's like, all right, cool. Love is tipping. And so you can like something on Fanbase, you can love it. But the way that you can tip on Fanbase is vast, right? So you can do it on posts. You can do it in live. You can do it in the chat rooms and these audio rooms right now. You can do it speaking on the stage and in the audio room. You can do it in the DM. So you can do it on comments. So everywhere that you participate on Fanbase to the community by way of being a content creator, because every single person on social media is a content creator. If you're in the chat right now, you're a content creator. If you're messaging somebody in the DMs right now, you're a content creator. If you're commenting on a post right now, you're a content creator. And so you should have the ability to earn revenue from that, and people can love those things. There's multiple ways using love that you can make money. So it's not just, love like on a post. It's like 7, 8 ways that you can actually make money.
We're going to get creative too. And one thing that it was part of our original plan when we started the race was the e-commerce piece as well.
Yeah.
We definitely want to continue giving more monetization tools as a creator so we can go beyond lab and subscriptions, and e-commerce is a big piece of that as well.
And then there's some other things
that we can say.
That we can't say.
Not,
yeah.
In a month they'll show up.
They'll show up on another app.
All right. Someone said, what about gamers?
Look, I'm a gamer. Even though the only game that I play is Call of Duty, I'm a gamer. Right now, in this watch party, what you're doing right now, the way that you're watching watch party, if you stream on OBS and one of those streams goes to YouTube, you can take your YouTube live stream and pin it to the top of an audio room right now on Fanbase and play games, right? And so your live stream can appear at the top of an audio room, which I think is really, really cool. I've done it. I think it's really cool. I've gotten on there, played Call of Duty, and people watch me play, and I think it's a really cool way to express yourself. But moving beyond that in 2025, what we talked about in Fanbase Forward was really bringing streaming to Fanbase Plus, right? And that means allowing you to live stream directly inside of Fanbase Plus, using OBS and stream keys or going directly through the platform, and being able to do that. And so I'm such a fan of gaming and gamers. I love to see that. And so that's something that we spoke about in Fanbase Forward that we're absolutely going to do. But again, those take resources, those take time. And the things that we do often, we continue to build the company and do listening to what either moves the needle on engagement or growth. And we stick to those things, and we have to stick to those things because that's consistency. That gives us positive things that we can talk about, that we've grown by this much, we've made this much revenue, as opposed to saying we can take chances, but we still have to continue to build. So I can't wait till we have streaming in Fanbase Plus. And then people have stream keys and can stream on this platform along with others.
Yep. So I have a few more questions. I'm going to leave the moderation question for the end because it's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
But someone asked, there's 2 questions actually. I'm going to try to put them together. One of them was asking about collaborating in a live stream and then being able to share revenue through a collaboration like that. So I'm going to just do a brief intro and then I'll let you share anything else. So as we grow, and as we tackle some foundational things in Q1 that we still need to tackle that we haven't been able to do before, one of the things that we want to definitely emphasize in 2025 is collaboration and immersive experiences between all these content formats, right? You have Flicks, you have live, you have audio. In fact, what we're doing right now, it is an immersive experience. We're in audio, we're doing a watch party through YouTube. We're going to continue doing that. We want to really push for creator collaboration. So we are looking into doing duets in Flicks. We definitely want to do collaboration on live streams. Now, revenue is a different story because we need to be very careful there.
Yeah.
But I'll let you.
I mean, I would say that's a challenge because it's a technical component that we have to be careful about how we were able to do that. But I think one of the things that, and what's so funny, we haven't even talked about this in such a long time. Because how many ideas we have? Because I remember we were talking, this might have been 2 years ago when we first talked about Flicks, about the ability, when people take your content and share your audio and how you might be able to get paid from using the original.
Yeah, we had a lot of conversations, even in my audio rooms on Thursdays, about what people or creators thought about revenue sharing when you actually share content as well.
I think that's fair. That means if someone, I think if you share, I think the original, here's what I'm saying. I think on social media, credit is extremely important, but also monetization and the revenue from that stuff. So the revenue that's generated from a piece of content, from the original.
I am a Fanbase investor, so
should always
revenue
splits.
splits.
It's kind of like on YouTube, right? If you let's say you use a piece of music from an artist, the monetization from that video goes towards the owner of the copyright of the music. So it's basically saying if you're using somebody else's content in your content, then that revenue should be directed towards that person because you're adding it. Unless you want to create your own music, create your own sound bites, create your own unique style, which people do on social media all the time. You don't get very demure and all these other things. These you don't get these sounds and these sound bites from people without people being original themselves. And so you still have the ability to be creative and monetize and make that. So I'm all for it. But again, it's just a technical thing that we have to make sure that we're very, very careful about and make sure that's done right.
Yeah, definitely. So I know we're have a few more minutes, but we can go over the hour because this is a great conversation and great questions. Yeah, we can a little bit. I like this. You don't enjoy this? We're talking to our users.
I got
They're telling us the good and the not so good.
Yeah.
I always say I love feeling good about what we're building, but I also want to hear what's not working.
Of course.
But we know.
We probably know already. It's just like,
Most of the things we know, but so someone asked, sorry, I'm trying to go there. Can you speak to your policies on moderation regarding incorrect information? And I'm assuming it's related to what's happening, what was announced today.
Yeah.
And I will say one thing. So one thing is what we strive to, and the other thing is what we're able to do.
Right.
Right? So definitely what we strive to, Isaac, you said it perfectly. We want to be a platform where all voices are heard, but at the same time, we want to have a safe community, right?
Yeah.
So we do have a pretty, I wouldn't say strict, but we have a pretty thorough terms of services where we say what we will allow and what we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we do moderation right now, and again, it needs improvement. I want to make it more robust. We do a combination of automation, manual, and then we do also crowdsource. I'll explain those three. Automation is we do use a combination of AI model and automations to understand what kind of imagery from videos and even the information that goes around. And we check that against some rules that we put ourselves based on what we believe it should be allowed.
Right.
We also have manual. We have people actually looking at content constantly. We're a small team.
Right.
I would love to have a lot of people being able to help because I'm a big believer that automation is good, but it's good when you combine it with human intervention as well. Because again, even with AI, how far it's gone, it's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
And so there's obviously a room for improvement there. I mean, when I talk to the guys that are moderating, a lot of times like, oh man, we're getting so much content migrated from TikTok, so many users, it's getting overwhelming. And that's part of the race as well, so we can grow there.
Yeah.
And then we take great pride in the active user base that we have. We have a group of ambassadors, which we call Fanbase. Shout out to them. We have a lot of active users that are constantly talking to our support team, to our moderation team, and sharing their perspective, what's going on, and so on. And that actually helps with the moderation as well. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not.
Right.
Do we want to make it perfect? Yes. And for that, it involves raising more money, increasing our moderation architecture, and also bringing more people into our moderation team as well. So hopefully I answered that question there.
And I would say if you see something that, goes against the community guidelines, if you see, something, you can report content and we'll be notified of that stuff. But now this is the thing. We don't want people weaponizing the ability to report content that doesn't violate the community guidelines. So if you don't like somebody reporting a piece of content, that's what we don't want. Because that doesn't help the app, that doesn't help us. It's not effective. But the people that do care about Fanbase and understand what is and isn't allowed, and you can always look at the community guidelines and see what is and what isn't allowed. This platform also is a small enough community at the moment that we can do this, but eventually we will not be able to manually moderate content. It's just it's not going to be possible. So AI will come into play in the way that those models are trained. And specifically, I think one of the things that I've heard a lot of people talk about before is how AI is so poorly trained on people of color.
Yeah.
Or body types. So if you are a voluptuous woman, AI might be like, you look like you're naked, it's coming down. Or, the color of your bathing suit matches the color of your flesh, so they think that you're nude or whatever, and it isn't. And so sometimes there's a lot of inappropriate content, inappropriate moderation that happens that affects those users. And so I think coming from the perspective of someone that is a person of color, I understand how important it is that we don't get confused, and we're not confused on the platform about how we identify every race, every gender, every background.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
As a CTO, that's one of the things that I'm most excited about. I know I talked about the algorithm all the time, but the fact that we get to shape our moderation policies and automations, our algorithm based on a platform that truly supports free speech and it's made by one for all, it's really exciting because I think about everyone that, when they did TikTok and when they did, Facebook and then Instagram, it's just whoever built it has a different mindset, have different experiences that they're not able to understand what's the right way.
Or it's not part of the agenda, the economic agenda of the platform. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit their business model.
So it's an early statement, but it gets me excited. I know that I cannot do as much as I would like to do because of the limitations that we have, but we're gonna do them. So
yeah.
And one more thing, and then we can look in YouTube and see if we have anything else. And I want to bring this question because we've been seeing a lot of growth lately. Someone asked, what's your, how many new users are you getting each week? So since December, we have a big spike, obviously mostly due to the uncertainty in the industry with TikTok. Today we're having a big spike too because when people listen to what they listen from the Meta founder, also saying, you know what, I'm out of here, I need an alternative. So it really varies, but between each week we're getting between 25 to 45,000 new users a week, which is pretty exciting. And
yes.
And I think yesterday, just by itself, we got around 6 to 7,000. I can't remember exactly, but again, it's what we're always trying to do. One of the things that the last thing I would say is that we're growing, and we're growing organically, which is super exciting. We definitely want to start doing some eventually paid efforts out there, but growing organically is great. But what is most important to us is the retention. So we are working in this quarter a lot on retention, and retention is very broad, but there's a lot of things that we're doing from the product marketing side and the product development side as well, because even though we're growing, we want to retain as many as possible. We want to build a really meaningful community. So
I've been snooping around looking at some of the prototypes for some of the A/B testing. Some of the A/B testing. I saw some like
we're gonna do some heavy A/B testing this quarter, which is exciting too. Most successful companies do a lot of A/B testing, but you know what? I told you I was listening from the Duolingo founder. They did a lot of A/B testing, but they also did a lot of gut checks. And they found the middle point between those two, because there's a lot of companies that they do everything A/B testing when the reality is like, that's the way.
So right? To make that clear, he's A/B testing. I'm gut check.
That's the struggle all the time. That's the struggle all the time. All right.
He's A/B. I'm gut.
All right. Let's see. Let me go quickly here. See if
no, just thank you guys for tuning in. Again. We are not going anywhere. We are going to continue to build and scale Fanbase. I think today's events again kind of signal a real change in these platforms like Meta and Facebook and Instagram and X are going to be these high level institutions of controlling the narrative of free speech based on the agenda, what it looks like of an upcoming administration, which they've donated capital to and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. I don't either, or conservative, liberal values, it doesn't matter. But when there's checks being cut and fact checking is going away right before, an era where we have a lot of confusion about what is and isn't the truth. When we lived in an era of alternative facts, 6 years ago, this is a landmark moment. And so I tell people that this is an opportunity to create a new era of social apps. Fanbase is one of those apps that's leading that conversation. And again, we've been that way from the beginning. We've been saying be you without limits for a while. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're not trying to shadow ban. We're not trying to suppress content. We want you to be yourself. We want to be inclusive. We want to grow. We want to be global. We want to be diverse. We want to be inclusive. All of those things. And that might be uncomfortable for people that just want to hear what they want to hear. Just want to live in a bubble and believe only what they want to believe. But Fanbase is not going to ever be a place where you're just going to be able to believe what you want to believe in an echo chamber alone. And so,
Yeah.
that's our goal.
So I have an idea. Just to do a quick summary, I'm gonna do some quick questions and you gotta answer quickly.
All right, rapid fire.
I want to invest. Where do I go to invest?
StartEngine.com.
How much can I invest?
The minimum is $399 all the way to the full raise of the round, which is we're raising 17 million. So you could close it out.
How many times can I invest?
You can invest as many times as you want to, and those perks that you get can stack except for bonus shares.
Why should I invest on Fanbase?
Because Fanbase gives you the opportunity to have equity and ownership in the next era of social media platforms when these platforms never gave the user the ability to sit on the cap table and have ownership.
What platform is at the forefront and best creator economy platform with social media, community, and features?
Fanbase.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you. I will hear you next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be here. We hope you have a fantastic week. I encourage everyone to go and join all the other amazing audio rooms that are going on Fanbase. If you want to come and join mine, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll talk technology and product roadmap. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you happen to see the VIP room open, just know that's me and some cool people in there having a good conversation. I opened one up last night, so. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So with that being said, we out.
Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the ability to overcome it. We stand for those who defy suppression, who speak out, and those who walk the road less traveled. Everyone deserves to be seen and their voices be heard. We're sparking a movement, growing a community of creators united by the desire for freedom, choice, equity, and ownership. At Fanbase, it's all for one and one for all. We support each other to guide, promote, and uplift you in a place where you can unapologetically be yourself. A place where your voice, ideas, and creativity are not just welcomed, but celebrated. We are Black founded, minority funded, and supported by a diverse, inclusive, powerful community that believes in the strength of authenticity and individual choice. Regardless of success or background, we welcome you. The marginalized, the underappreciated, the successful, the superstar. We're for all who seek a space to express themselves freely, where they are rewarded for being their authentic, true self. We transcend labels because only we have the right to define ourselves. We are built for the brave, the culture, the creators, and for the future where everyone has the power to shape their own destiny. Where all are empowered, voices are amplified, and freedom is embraced. For the first time, you have the chance to own the platform you helped make popular. It's a revolution. A movement in how we connect, create, and share. Everyone is a creator, and everyone has a fan base. Here, you can be you without limits.